Okay, I'll start off, right? So hi everyone. This is Ravan Lingam again. So we have started this sessions for absolute beginners. When I say beginners, it is both students as well as guys who has IT experience but with different backgrounds. So the main motto is like it's free training just for you to make, like we got many requests to start a series of sessions which makes you to become a pro developer or a developer and crack the certification and get ready for job. So that is our motto. So we have started this session from last Saturday. We will be having every Saturday at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. IST. So this is session 2. So we will be discussing about designing APIs. All right. Just for recaps, one second. Yeah. So recap of session 1, we have discussed what is MuleSoft. Again, we have said like MuleSoft is both an integration platform and API management platform. And what is an API? Okay, we have discussed what is an API. Putting it into a simpler word, you will request something, you will process it and give back the response. So client or customer will request something, then there is this process that will be done for the request, then you will send, the server will be sending the response back to the client. That's what in short that API means. Again, web services or APIs, we have like we also discussed between differences between web service and API. So we have different kinds of web services like RESTful service and SOAP service we have discussed. If you have missed the session, you will have that recording session. Okay, we have shared those links. Next, API-led connectivity approach, which is famous, that was famous for MuleSoft, the methodology or the approach we have discussed in detail with a real-time example of booking flights. Okay. Then Anypoint platform, where this is one of the products of MuleSoft, where you can find number of things over there. One of those things is what we are discussing today, that is designing our APIs. I'll say what is designing APIs and all. Okay. Next, MuleSoft 3D. So this is a term which I have given, like 3D in sense design, develop and deploy. All three can be done using MuleSoft. Okay. Then we have also seen a walkthrough to a website. Okay. We will again go through this website walkthrough in this session. And at the end of the session, you will be asked to submit the assignment by next Saturday. Even for this session, I have prepared one assignment. Guys, try to see, I told always like just hearing and listening or reading doesn't help. You have to practice on your own. Until and unless you don't practice, nothing is easy. Okay. All right. So before going to designing APIs, so you must be wondering, Shravan, what is designing APIs? Generally the code we will develop, right? What is the difference between designing or development? What is like developing is the code which we develop, write code and all. Then what is designing again? What is the code which we write for designing? We are designing APIs for API specification. Now what is API specification should be your question. So API specification provides an understanding of how an API behaves. Now again, in general terms, to keep it in a layman's language, I am saying, suppose you are having a website, how it is working, okay, how it behaves. Okay, when I say how it behaves, that means what kind of request it accepts. Suppose there is a Facebook login page, right? So you will have username and password. If you're not entering username or password, it will say please enter the credentials. Okay, this is again a general example, right? Such kind of things. So what kind of request is your API accepting? What kind of response it returns? So for every action there will be a opposite reaction, right? Response. So when you enter username and password, what you're getting. So next, what are the mandatory fields like we discussed, right? What is the username, password required or not required, and what is the format which it is expecting, in which it is expecting, whether it is expecting a JSON or XML. Those kind of things are so sorry. So those kind of things we all call it as API specification. Okay, so it is the type of request which your API is accepting and type of response, inputting in simpler words. Okay, now let's take a small example of building construction. Okay, so if you want to construct a building, do you really start constructing the home without any plan and all? No, right? So first what we will do, we will be having our plan, right? You will be having, you will be saying like, my hall should be like these many inches. You will be having a blueprint of your building. Same thing, API specification is a blueprint of your API. That means if you look at this, chart, right, the building construction, all these specifications, these are specifications, right? Suppose you are placing an order in Amazon or somewhere, you won't just place an order like that, right? You will go and see the specifications. What are the specifications and what it is useful, what we need, all those things will be there. So API is also in a similar, designing APIs or API specification is also similarly same. By seeing that API specification, you will get to know what type of API it is, what is the request which is accepting, and what is the response it is giving. So once you are, suppose in this building construction example, once you have planned and have all this plan ready, then you will go to some architect, right? Architect or government permission, you will get the permission. And what you will do, you will start constructing the building. This is what development means. Whatever we have done in the previous step is called designing. Now you are developing for that particular design. So once your design is very perfect and you know what to do, then you have to start coding. Okay. So again, there are a lot of questions, right, Shravan? Without designing the APIs, can't we start developing? Yes, you can do. But it is always best practice to have a design, suppose even building, right, without any this thing, you can start constructing the house. But if something goes wrong, that is lack of plan. That's the reason it is always good for you to design APIs first, then get it approved from architects. In technical knowledge, guys, in technical guys who are experienced IT knowledge, you will go to your architects, give that, design your API design, and ask them to give approved to get started coding. Again, students, for you, it's just like, you will be having one guy on top of you, okay, some kind of lead. You'll ask him, you will give the design of the API. Once you get approval from him, you will start coding. Okay, that is called development. So today's session we are designing. From next section we will start development. Okay, both designing and development we have separate coding. This coding is totally different from MuleSoft. Okay, I'll tell you what is that, okay, in coming session. So you will start building this constructing this building, and then finally sorry, so here is the API specification, then you start constructing, and finally your building is constructed. So that is the process which we need to follow. Again, when I say API specification in today's session, designing APIs, this is only for RESTful applications. For SOAP, we have different. Usually SOAP services we are not building because those are kind of legacy services and all, but we are mainly concentrating. This designing of APIs is only for RESTful applications. Whenever they ask in interview or in any, quiz questions and all, you should be able to answer this question. Whatever designing we are doing today, we use, okay, we use Design Center for that. The language which we are using to design, there is a separate language to design the API that is called as RAML, R-A-M-L. RAML stands for RESTful API Modeling Language. In the name itself, it is there for, that means it is for RESTful applications. So we design this APIs using RAML only for RESTful applications, but not for SOAP APIs. Okay. So this is the designing APIs. We'll make use of Anypoint platform. I have in the previous session, I have shown you there are many features in Anypoint platform. One of the feature is Design Center. So we will go to Design Center and start coding it. Okay. Coding for designing the API specification. So we won't be having all that internal code, database, all these things. You'll just have what is the request which your API is expecting, what are the mandatory fields you want to set, and what is the type of response it will return. That's it, nothing more than that, and it will be very easy. I'll show you. There are no slides hereafter. Okay, I have a couple more slides, then rest all we will go with hands-on. Okay, so what is Design Center? Before going into Design Center is API designer help us to create API specifications in RESTful API modeling language. That is RAML. RAML stands for RESTful API modeling language. It's kind of a language. Okay, that is one coding language kind of thing, just like HTML, right? Hypertext markup language, same thing. RAML is one of that, and it is very easy, not like HTML is in form of XML, but this looks like kind of JSON, but not exactly JSON. Okay, it supports both RAML 0.8 and 1 version. Okay, many of the interviews when I conduct, people come up, the first question which I ask them is, what is the version of RAML you are using? They will say RAML 5 version and RAML 3 version. The latest RAML version is 2.0, which is still not implemented, but currently our design center supports RAML 0.8 and 1 version. Okay. After creating API specification, it can be published to API Exchange so that it will be available to your organization. Okay. I'll tell you what is this API Exchange when we are doing real-time this coding. Okay. That is called this thing. Now, what are the main things when we want to design our API specification? This is very, 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 very important. Okay. First thing is resource. It is the unique name that we give to identify the resource. That means I told you, right? I have shown you the walkthrough to a website. Whenever you are clicking something, there is some path or resource that is changing in the URL. That means they might have already written some logic based upon the resource. Okay. Based upon the resource only, you will write some logic. Okay. When you say login, you can say /login. That means you are performing a logic operation. If there is, if you are typing something in URL which is not implemented, then it will say resource not found. It is very, very important. Resource is nothing but the unique name we give to identify a resource. Next is method. Method is just like get, post, put, delete, patch. That is the conventions which we follow. Suppose whenever we are requesting some data, right? That means you want to get some details. In that time, we will use the get method. Or whenever you are creating an account, suppose initially you are creating an account like in Facebook account, then you will enter all the details. So if you are creating something, understand the words. Okay. If you are creating something, we will use post method. Okay. If your put method is like if you are updating anything like password updates and all these things, we will use put method. Okay. If you are removing anything, we will use delete method. I have repeated put, sorry. If there is any patches kind of thing, we'll use. So these are the different kind of methods. Again, there are a lot of questions that we ask, Shravan, do we need to necessarily use delete method to delete the account? No, these are some standards which we are following, right? Based upon the terminology, we are following that standards. Yes, you can use get method to delete some resource. There is no restriction that you cannot delete. These are the just names which we are giving. These are the method names which we are giving for ourselves, just to understand the logic. When I say delete, then in your mind it will be there like, okay, this is deleting something like that. But if you're deleting something for get method, right, it doesn't suits well. So have these standards. You should be having these standards followed very strictly. Okay. Get method is to retrieve something. Post method if you want to create something new. Put method is used to update something. Delete method is used to delete something. So if you know these things for beginners, this is more than enough. Okay. Next thing is request. So request is like what is the kind of body which we are sending. So we can send the body request. We can send the request in 4 different ways. Okay. We can send it as a body. I'll tell you what is body for the beginners. Okay. What is body? Then we can send as query parameters. We can send as URI parameters. We can send it as headers. So the request can be sent in one of them or in all of them or in any combination. You can send it in any way. That is how you are designing your API. So it is you who are designing the API. It's not already existed. Okay. It is your choice how you want to send the request in which form. Okay. That is request. Next is response. So it's response like what kind of response you are receiving and which format it is. That is pretty simple. And HTTP status code. Whenever I talk about web services, right, like both either it is HTTP, RESTful or SOAP. In this case, it is RESTful service. We do have some set of, so every response will have some HTTP status code. That is very, very, very important. You have to understand. Okay. HTTP status codes, again, these are like standards. Okay. We all follow some standards. For example, if you are retrieving something successfully for get method, you will use 200. That means okay. If you are creating something new, then it will return 201. Okay. This will not show you for UIs. Okay. Whenever you're whenever you're surfing on Chrome, whenever you're going through websites, you won't see these particular status codes, but internally these status codes are important when you are integrating multiple APIs. Okay. So HTTP statuses are very, very, very important in designing or developing the RESTful services. 400 scenarios, 400 or 401 or 404, all these are kind of business errors we will see. Okay. Once we start coding, we will see that. 500 server errors are internal server error, which you might have seen in real-time scenario also. So that if something went wrong within the application, it will return 500 series errors. All right. This is the important point. No two resources can have the same name and method. Okay. The combination, both. Suppose if you have some resource name as get details with method name as get, you cannot have another same name with get method. Okay. So that cannot be happen, because if you are having the same name with same method, how can the API choose which method I need to do? If you are writing that, first of all, it will not allow you to do. But if someone asks you, right, in interview questions and all, say you cannot have the common, but you can have the same name with different methods. Okay. You can have same get details like get method and post method, but you cannot have the same name for same method. All right. So I will walk through our website again today, okay, just to show you how API specifications works, okay. Then we shall have hands-on. So this is all for today's slides. Now everything will be hands-on. All right. So I have told like I'll walk through the website, right? So suppose there is a website called bbc.com. All right. Sorry. So I told this is the home page, but anything which you click, if you observe our URL changes. So from today, guys, whenever you are surfing something on internet, observe the URLs, how it is taking the request, how how your inputs are being passed. Okay, that is very, very important when you are going to be a web service developer. Okay. Now, for example, I am clicking on sports news. Just try to observe the URL. You can see there is something added to your, so this .com is called DNS. After that, whatever you see is called a resource. So that's what I was talking about here. Okay. The resource, this resource is nothing but this one. So that means these guys have developed an API. Whenever you click on sport, you have to display this page. So this is the request and this is the response. All right. So when you click on reel, you can see the path is changing. That means there are different kind of resources that they are using. That's why I told like you cannot have another reel, right, with same method, because it don't know which method it should go. So every operation or every action has some dedicated resources. Now I have clicked on culture. Okay. Now you can observe something like I got culture as a resource name, and there are some things which I can see after culture here. Question mark. Whatever I have discussed this already in session 1, whatever is there after question mark is called query parameters. Okay. That's what I told here in the request. We have one of the types is query parameters. That means whatever there, you can send the information in form of question mark. Okay. So try to understand, analyze the websites, anything. If you go to more, if you click on film, you can see again. This is another thing. Now you should be getting a question. Shravan, you called anything after this .com is called resource. Then what are these two called? Columns and film. Okay, these are called the first part forward slash with some name is called the main resource, and whatever you see after this is called URI params. Okay, now we have three kinds. One is resource. Okay, these are URI params, and we have seen another thing, right? When we clicked on culture, these are query params. So here query param is refer. Now I will also go to google.com. Okay, sorry. Okay, MuleSoft, if I click, okay, now you can see even Google, right? That resource name which it is using to search something, to perform the searching operation, they have written a code with resource name search. Okay, you can see that. Then after question mark, there are number of query parameters. They are passing like many query parameters. But now for you to understand here, you can see somewhere they will be using a query parameter queue there. Okay, let me show that. Somewhere it will give 1 second. Yeah, here you can see, right? Q. So Q is the query parameters which they wanted to send your input as in query parameter. You can see UNO. Here you can see UNO. Now, if I try to change this in URL, right here, if I remove that and if I type MuleSoft, you can see automatically in the search tab that MuleSoft word is displayed. So that means whatever we are passing is like, we are just passing it in the query parameter. Means they have designed in that way. It's not necessary that you have to pass everything in query parameters, but Google has created an API which accepts your inputs or request in the form of query parameters. Okay, that's how it is taking, and it will do internal things and it will give the response like this. All right, this is all about what API designing and all. And also I told like body, right? So body is something like, for example, uh, let me go to facebook.com. Okay. Suppose you are having a facebook.com something, right? You are writing something and you are logging. When you click on login, again see there is some URL which will be appended automatically to perform that operation. But you can see here, right? Login. So that means login operation is performed using login resource. But you can see there are no query parameters and all, but you must be wondering why this, where are these inputs passed? So it is passed internally as a body. You cannot see that on Chrome, but you can see in Postman. Okay. So if you see here Postman is also kind of browser, but where we can send the body internally. Okay. It's like it will go like username and password will go as a body. Okay. You will get used to these terms once you get hands on things. Okay. So this is all about API specification and all, guys. Now I am going to start designing the RAML. I'll show you how to design the RAMLs and all. Try to understand. Okay, I'll go in a very slow pace. Try to understand and then ask any questions if you have, and try to submit the assignments. Okay, that will make you pro. Now to go to design center, I told we need to have a Anypoint platform account. Guys, create Anypoint platform account today itself. Though it is 1 month free trial, you can later, you can also create with the same mail ID again with different username. Okay. uh, Let me sign out. So this is how your Anypoint platform account will be there. Once you create, if you don't have an account, sign up with all these details and then log in. Okay. Once you log in, you can see you will be in a home page. Okay. There are multiple features. I have discussed this in the session 1. Go through the video. So design center, exchange, API manager, all these things. Today we will be concentrating on design center. Okay. Design center is the place where you will be designing your application, API specification. That means you are designing your API. Okay. Click on create new. Here you can see a blue button called create new. If you want to create a new application, now you wanted to, suppose I will do this thing only. Okay. So I will do something which is similar to google.com. Okay. Now I am searching for MuleSoft. Okay. So your resource name should be search, and then you need to pass the query parameter as Q. Okay. That's what we will build for the first thing. Okay. Now for creating new, just click on create new. You will get two options: create a fragment or create API specification. We want to, so fragments and all, again it is like for advanced developers. For you, just try to understand, this is where you want to create API specification. Click on API specification. It will ask for the name. So give your name. Okay. You can say session 2. This is our API name, for example. Okay. You can say it is asking for a text editor or visual editor. I'll go with the text editor. Then it is asking for the languages. Other than RAML, they are like, OAS and all. Okay. But for our purpose, for our beginners, so people rarely use OAS, but for MuleSoft APIs that we built, we use RAML, because it is very easy to code. Okay. RAML is a separate language. It is separate from MuleSoft. You have to understand that. Okay. RAML language is different from MuleSoft. This is not at all related to development of the code. This is only used to design your code. Okay. You have 0.8 and 1 version. I am using 1.0 version. You want to save, where you want to save, there is only one option, design center. Then I click on create specification. Okay. Just try to understand, concentrate on what I am saying. Okay. You will have this session recording, so don't worry. Okay. Now you can see once the application, if once you have created an API specification, you can see two syntaxes. One is hash percentile raml space 1.0. This is by default. That means it is defining that this particular text editor is, this particular file is a raml file. If you remove this percentile, it will give an error. Okay. This won't be a valid raml. Okay. don't touch it. So RAML 1.0, then the title is nothing but your application name. Again, you can see on the left side, these are the different types of files. This is your root file, that means main RAML file. Okay, the RAML file extension is your application name .raml, just like .xml, .png, .jpg. This is one of the, what do you say? This is one of the type. Okay, RAML is one of the file type. Okay, now we are good to start off. Okay, I'll just show you simple thing. I told you you should follow this order. Which order? Resource, method, request, response. Only four. If you remember these four, you will be very good to start developing things. Okay, how to mention a resource name? I told resource name should be unique within this application. Within this application, it should be unique. Okay, so what is the resource name here? Search, right? So we wanted to design something similar to Google this thing. So what I am doing is, for resource name, you have to use / then followed by your name. Search is the name. Still it is giving error. Why? Because we need to have colon. Okay, this is the syntax. Very simple syntax, you have to understand. But these are very simple, but sometimes we do simple mistakes. Okay, guys, whatever I am teaching today also, it will come in interviews. They will ask in interviews, in, you know, even in the certification exam. We have separate certification exam for RAML, but even in the development certification, they will ask RAML questions. So try to understand. Okay, I'll be in very slow pace. Try to understand in a general way. So that's the reason I'm taking a general example and explaining you. Okay, now search is my path. So here you can use many terminologies. Okay, I will say it as resource or a path, something like that. Okay, so now you want to have your API, it is having only one action, one logic you are building, that is for search. Okay, then when you click on enter, you can see automatically there is a tab space. Okay, it is not going immediately to just below, you know, below this slash. It has given a tab space because RAM will follow this indentation. Again, for beginners or who are non-technical background, indentation means, that means it will have some structure. Okay, we have to follow that structure. That means you cannot write everything in single straight line. Okay, it will have some structure. That means you are defining this resource name, and whatever actions like request, response, it should be within this one. Okay, that's the reason whenever you click enter, it is coming just giving one tab space. Now we have written name of the resource. What is next thing? What is the type of method? For now, I told again, this is my wish. Okay, API specification, it's all about your, whatever your architect is asking, you have to design in that way. Now I wanted this method to be a get method. You can already see, even you don't need to memorize things. Okay, you can see automatically there are some suggestions given over here. Okay, it is asking for the methods. What is the method? I wanted to choose, I want to choose get method. When I click that, automatically it is showing like get, again colon symbol, again enter with the tab space. You can see that indentation here, here, again this within here. Now next thing is, I told you, now we have defined resource name and method name. What is the next one? Request. Now I told here, for example, in Google search, how the request is going. It is going in the form of query parameters, right? It is there something as queue, something we can give, like we can give any name. Okay, whatever name you give, that's what you will develop. Okay, in the code. Okay, now request means, here you can see we can send the request in as a body or header or query parameters. There are many types. So now we chose to build our API to accept the request in the form of query parameters. So now I am clicking on query parameters. You can see I am not writing anything. Most of the coding is done by RAML itself, the design center itself. Now choose the keyword which you want to use as a query parameter. In this case, Google is using like something called Q, right? Where is that? Okay, Q. So now I want to use something like keyword. I will write something like keyword. Okay, I say keyword colon, then enter. Then you can see lot many options over here. It is asking, so all these things you can keep, like, you know, description you can say, like, this is not a mandatory field. Okay, but still whenever you are designing an API, try to write description, so that everyone who can look at this API will understand. Description means this is the query param which the request is accepted. Okay, something like that. Next thing is then you can say type. Okay, 1 second, let me remove this. So next thing is type. Okay, type, what type? Just so generally in query parameters, whatever you do, it is in form of string number, you have those things, right? So you are saying like type as string. Next, you can also define like what, whether it is required or not. Okay, you will say required is true. But one thing you have to understand, whenever I am writing, if I am not giving this required parameter also, by default it is true. This is also an interview question. They will ask you, you are defining a query parameter with some name. If you are not defining anything required equal to true, will it be a mandatory field? Yes. If you are not defining anything, by default it is a required field. Okay. So I don't want to give, when it is required field, why to write extra code? Okay. Next, but I want to say like minimum length, at least you need to enter 3 letters, maximum it should not length. So you can specify, these are like, validations. You are building an API, you are saying someone should, so dot after dot com, someone should enter this path, which should be a get method, and pass the query parameter keyword, which should have at least 3 letters, not exceeding 10 letters. That's what this specification. Now my request part is completed. I want only one query parameter. What is the next thing? Response. So response you cannot write directly here. Okay. Wherever you have started the query parameters, it should be in the same line. Okay. You can see query parameter, because this is the method, this is the request, and the response value should be also in the same line. Okay. Try to analyze. I am repeating again. This search and get is the combination of your logic. Now this is the request. Your request is under this, and then response should be on the same line where query parameters is there. Okay. Now you can see here somewhere responses. Okay. Click on responses. Immediately you can see the suggestions which are showing here, status codes. I told you, right? RAML is for RESTful applications. That means each and every resource or logic will have some response, return response. Now I will say 200, because this is a get method. I want to, according to standards, I want to use 200 as the success scenario. Then responses it is asking. Okay, I'll say response body. I want to send as body. What type? Okay, I'll say like it should be application JSON. Okay, here I don't want to do any validation. I want to simply say like example, something like message result returned, sorry, result returned successful. Okay, now we have designed. Now you'll say, Shravan, what is the use of this? Why you are designing that? Whenever I am typing something, if you guys have observed to my right side, there is something happening over here. You can see, right? My resource name, get method, some UI kind of thing is developed over here. Now here it is google.com. For us, where which .com we need to use. So for that, you need to enable mocking service so that you will get temporary DNS here, like .com you can see over here, right? To get that, you need to enable this mocking service. Okay, click on this. Now you can see here there is a base URL. We call that as base URL, means still this part we'll call it as base URL. Okay, so till.com blah 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 slash this such. Okay, how to know, how to get the endpoint, final endpoint is, now go here, click on this get. Okay, click on this get. You can see multiple things over here. It is saying we have for this, for your particular resource, the query parameter name is keyword, which is string. You can see here it is saying as required, though I didn't mention anything like required, it is saying required, because by default, if you are not mentioning anything, that particular parameter will be required. Remember this point. Next, at least it should be three characters, and maximum is 10 characters. And sample example, sample logic, when we give request, sample response will be something like this. This is only, guys, designing of APIs is not actual code implementation. I am stressing again, designing APIs means not, it is not actual code implementation. You are creating a specification or blueprint. That means You are saying if you are sending some request as a keyword with 3 letters, this is how the response you will get. Okay, if you are not giving, what will happen? All these things we are just defining it. Okay, if you want to try it, there is an option called try it over here. Click here. Now can you see it is asking for a keyword? Okay, I said I told 3 letters, right? Let me give MuleSoft. Okay, then just click send. This is nothing but like whenever we are doing clicking on something and entering, right? Request, same thing, send. Okay, then you can see as I am giving a valid keyword and all this, you can see here, I'll just copy in the URL. You can see now .com, this is the base URL. Okay, you can see my search is now here. Okay, /search, the same thing which I have used like for google.com, right? Search. Okay, then after that for query parameters, there is something like question mark. Here also, if you can observe, there is a question mark, but they have used Q as the name for, you can see like Q right here, this one. But what I am doing is Q equal to MuleSoft is what they have like they are accepting, but this is my API, my wish. I'm using keyword as the, sorry, I'm using keyword as the query parameter. I'm passing my information. So when I hit this, you can see it is saying return result return successful. Here you are having UI, but you know, generally we won't work on UIs and all, right? So APIs. So this is how the action performs. I hope this is very clear for you. Now we need to test by giving wrong inputs. Okay, success scenario is only one, that you know, if you send more than 3 characters or less than 10. Now what I will do is I will pass only 2 letters. Okay, I'll just pass only MU, then send it. What it is saying, the status code is now 400. So guys, http cat. So to have this status codes, right, there's a good website called http.cat. You can see, you can understand many different kinds of. So what is the status code we got? Bad request. That means where is 400 over here? Bad request. When you say bad request, that means what? What it is the response it is showing? Error validating the parameter. It is saying like expected minimum length 3, but actually is 2. That means it is giving wrong, right? In the given bbc.com or something also. So here is port, right? If I give something like, okay, before 400, I'll show you. First of all, I'll give the wrong keyword name. Here it is search, right? I'll give the wrong spelling name, searches. Okay. Before that, I will go to google.com. Sorry. Okay. I'll type search. Okay. Here in place of search, I'll give searches. Okay. It will say 404 not found, because it is saying, see, the requested URL searches was not found because they haven't designed for that. Here, same way, I am changing this code here to searches. Okay. I'll say searches. When you send, here also it is saying 4. So all these status codes, why I am showing both Google and here is, you have to understand standards are always same. There is a particular standard we are following. Then you might be asking, Shravan, can you mod instead of 404, can you give any other status? Yes, you can give. You are developing, you are designing, you can give anything. But we shall all follow some standard best practices. Not found means you have not, so it is saying resource not found. Error trying to find resource such as, that means I haven't designed. Okay, such as I haven't done. Same thing here, go to the endpoint. Okay, and here if you give such as enter, it says resource not found, but here you are not able to find the what do you say, status code, right? Here you are not able to find. That's the reason, go to Postman, download the Postman. Okay, this is called Postman, where you can see all the status, same thing. Okay, this is not post method, we are using get method. Okay, now from now I am using Postman. Okay, just for your understanding guys, I'll start using Postman because you can see everything in one place. I'm sending this request. It is saying like resource not found. This is the response tab, and this is this thing. Okay, most of you, when you download, okay, it will be in single pane. Try to change that in. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, when you download, beginners, when you download, it will be something like this. Okay, just for my graphical view, good view, I am keeping in double pane. Okay, forget about this. Okay, so get method, I am setting such as I am sending this, it is saying 404 not found. Okay, next, these guys, these are very important questions in perspective of exam also. Where what if you give wrong name for the resource, it will give 404. Now you will give correct name only, but your request what you are sending is you are not matching their criteria. Like I am using only 2 letters. When you send it, what it is saying 400. So whenever there is something failure in the validations of the request, it will give 400 bad request. The name itself is bad request. That means your input is wrong. Okay. Expected minimum 3, actual 2. Now maximum also I have told like mules of 10, right? Try to add more than 10. Okay. Send it. Again, it will say bad request. It is saying your maximum length is 10, but it is like you are giving 20 letters. Okay. All these things, you are not coding anything to validate this. RAML itself internally is coding itself and doing all these validations. That is why, so there will be again a question like, Shravan, is RAML necessary to build a RESTful application? No, it is not necessary. I told, just like, do we need a plan to construct a building? No, you can start off constructing the building, but it is always best practice to understand what are the type of request your API is accepting and what is the type of response you are getting. Okay, now what are the different scenarios? So okay, again when I click send, 200, I am getting 200. Okay, for a success request. Then I am missing some another test. Okay, one other failure test. What is, what if I'm, instead of get method, if I give post method, what will happen? It will give 405 not allowed. Okay, that means your method, you have what you have defined, you have said like you are creating an API search which is get method, but what you are doing here, you are doing post method here, so that is also wrong. So how many totally, how many failures? So first, this is a success scenario 200. Second failure scenario is post, we are getting 405. That is one failure scenario. Now I will give get and change the name of the resource here, such as this is 404. Okay, that is another. Next, let me give search only. Okay, send it, it will give 200. Next, send only 2 letters, it will give, oh sorry, it will give bad request saying this 400. So we have seen 400, 404, 405. Clear? So these are the different kind of status codes and all, which, so this will be really funny if you play around. Okay, now you should be getting another question, Shravan, is what if, this is another interview question, what if I give wrong name, what if, sorry, wrong method, what if I give wrong resource name, and what if I pass only 2 letters? So all are failure cases, but what is the final response? Is it 400 or 404 or 405? So the answer is 404. Why is the question, right? First things first, the intention you need to follow. Okay, the errors also is like, first what you are what it is doing is it is looking for searches. Okay, it is going here and see if there is any resource name called searches. No, so immediately, as there is no name with, there is no definition for that particular resource name here, it is directly giving 404 not found. It will not even go inside because this is for search. How can you look for searches, right? So directly, even though whatever you give post or whatever you give keyword, it doesn't care. Now next question is, I will give search. Now I am giving post method, that is wrong, and I am passing only 2 characters, that is wrong. Now tell me, post method wrong means it should give 405 method not allowed. Keyword means bad request 400. Now you have to tell me like whether it is 400 or 405. To just before sending this request, you have to see what you are searching for first. After the resource name is matching, so my search is matching, right? Then it will check for the method name. As our method name is wrong, then it will give 405 but not 404. Okay, you can see 405 not allowed. Then you will make it as get, then your search name is correct, get method is correct, but this is failing keyword. That's the reason. Now if you click, it will give 400. Okay, this is how you need to understand. This is very simpler way to understand. Go by the intention, check these questions. I will give the in assignments also, I will ask. Okay, so If I give wrong name, what it will. So based upon this, you need to check. So what I'll do is I'll give this RAML file. I'll give this URL. You have to tell me what is the error that you will get, whether it is 400, 405 or 404, right? Or success. Okay. This is for single resource. Okay. But you have seen here bbc.com. You have multiple resources, right? Sport means when you click on sport, you are getting sports page, or if you are clicking on news, you are getting news page. Okay. Now how to have multiple resource? This is only one single resource, isn't it? So how to have multiple resources? Okay. I mean, just I wanted to cross check whether I am audible. Okay. Because I am, everyone is on mute, right?
Yes, Raman, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. So now how to create multiple resources. Okay, search is done. Okay, now let us move to like BBC only. Now I want to use something like news and sport. Okay, let search be there. I wanted to add another resource. When you want to add another resource, follow the indentation. This is separate. So this is one resource. It should, the second resource is totally different. So it should be in the straight line of the search. Okay, you cannot have here. Okay, you should have here, right? So now I want to have something called news. My resource name is news, my wish, it is my API. But once you have building, you are building this one, then you have to give to the users with the same URL. Okay, news. Why it is giving error again? You need to keep a colon here. Then you can see here, go to summary here. Okay, automatically you can see there is something called news added over here. Whatever you are adding here, it will reflect immediately over here. Okay, news. Now this time when I click enter, again it will give a tab space because it is asking for the method. Okay, sometimes, okay, when you are typing, right, you might be getting these things like sometimes you might not see here. Okay, you might not be seeing the automatic suggestions over here. Okay, I have just clicked on the arrow mark and all. Okay, that's the reason I am getting here. So yes. So when I click enter, now it is asking for which method. So always follow this pattern. Resource name first, second name, method name, third one is request, fourth one is response. Follow this one. Now this time I want to use post method. You can see automatically in purple color, I can see post method over here. Okay. Now post method, this time I want to pass the request in two forms. Okay. One is using query parameter and the other one is using body. Okay. Now I want to first, let me complete query parameter. Okay, so first it will valid query parameter. Again, if you give something wrong in body, first it will check whether query parameters are correct or not. This time's news. Okay, what I want to see, I need to add a query parameter like country, which country news you want. Okay, so I'll say country, enter. Okay, this time I will say required equal to false. That means even though if you are passing or not passing this country, it should not fail. Okay. So country is done. Okay. Next, I want to pass as body. Okay. How to pass? Where should be the indentation? Again, when I say indentation word, which line it should come under? Because this is a request, it should come under query parameters, because this is one type, one form where we are passing query parameter. And now I want to pass it some fields in body. Okay. I'll click on body. Okay. So body, what is the type of body? In the Postman also, if you can see post method, whenever you click on this body and click on raw, it will have different kinds. Okay. Now I will go to JSON. Okay, guys, just try to Google what is the JSON. I'll explain when we come to development part, but it is good to have some knowledge on what is JSON. JSON is nothing but it is a format type. How it will look is something like this. Okay, name Shravan. Okay, sorry. So this is kind of JSON format. Okay, you can have multiple things like, you know, ID. Okay, this is called JSON format. Okay, try to read more on JSON. This is for beginners. I know experienced candidate, you might have known what is JSON. Now body. Now body, you have to write what is the type. I'll say application JSON for now. Now you have to define what is the type, because we need to do some validation right here. So when I click, so here schemas, I will say properties. Okay. Now what are the fields that I want to send as a part of body? my wish. It is again my wish. Suppose you want to log in. Okay, I'll say username. Okay, enter username. So by default, if I am not writing anything required equal to true, that means it is a required parameter. But still, best practice, required equal to true. Okay, minimum length username should be 5, maximum length it should be 10. Okay, these are mandatory fields. Then I want to add another parameter called password. Okay, here also required, this is required equal to true for sure. Minimum length 6 letters, maximum length 10 letters. Okay, now I have defined them. If you want to add anything other than this required minimum, you can see many things over here. Okay, now you are done. So you are passing for this particular news. If you want to get news logic, you have to pass the request in query parameters as well as body. Now my request is completed. Okay, after request, what is that? Responses. So you can see responses. So where it should be in the same line where the requests are made. Okay, responses, click on this. Again, you can give 200 or 201, your wish. Just this, though it is not correct way. Okay, getting news is generally 200, but still to show you the differences, I am using some 201. Okay, you will say body application JSON. Okay, you can define some example like India news. Okay, breaking news, blah blah blah. So now you have total 2 resources. One is search, one is news. Search is a get method, news is a post method. You can see to my right side there are 2 things, right? Now here click on post, you can see all the things. Can you see here how your request is framed? Username and password, that is which is similar to like name and ID over here. That is the JSON format. This is called object, guys. Okay, this is called object, we say. Okay, if you have only single flower bracket, we call it as object. Okay, then it is saying all this summary it will show, but you want to try it now. Just click on try it, copy the URL. Copy the URL. Now go ahead and paste it. Can you see here my URL? It is like news. You can see by default it is not showing the query parameter, which one? Country, because we set required equal to false. Okay, that's the reason it is not showing. But if you want to pass country query parameter, how? Query parameters are always passed after question mark. Okay, add question mark, say country equal to India, something like that. Now first see so your news, the name is correct, the method name post is correct, you are passing a query parameter, but you are having a body which is accepting username and password. Okay, so copy this, pass that username and password over here, but still there are some validation. Username, it is required at least 5 characters. I'll say SRAVAN. Okay, password 1 2 3 4 5 6, because 6 are the minimum length which I am giving. Okay, once, so if you see here all are valid. News, post method, body is JSON, country is India, username, password, everything is fine. Now when everything is fine, I should get 201 status with this response. Right, you can see 201, which is nothing but created. Okay, that is the standard name. Now you can see I am getting something like Indian news, breaking news, because that's what we have defined over here. This is mocking URL, guys. This is mocking. Mocking means is temporary one. You are, this is the not the actual response. You will get something news, right? But for just designing APIs, you will give a sample response only. Now you must be asking me a question, Shravan, why are you not passing on the Chrome? Because here there is no way for me to send as a body, right? How to pass? I can pass a query parameter like question mark, right? Question mark country India, yes, I can pass. So let me pass that. But now if I enter, it will say method not found, because by default when you hit on some browser, right, it is get method. but I have to send it as post methods, which is not possible to test over here. That's the reason we are using Postman. Postman is used for that purpose in general way. Okay. Now let us find the wrong scenarios. Okay. Now first name I will give the news. I will remove S from the news. So it should give 404 not found because there is nothing defined for new over here. Right. Send it. It is saying 404 not found with error trying to find resource new. Okay. Then, okay, I will pass the news only. You should be also getting Shravan. You are saying country name is not a mandatory field here. Does it return a success response then? Where is this? You can say query parameters required equal to false, but will it still give the response? Then remove it and test it. If you send it, you can see 201 is still created and you are getting success response. But what will happen if you give, where is this? Yeah, this as true. Okay, I am setting this as 2. Now you send it. Okay, 1 second, right? Let me uncheck, and sometimes it works and doesn't work. Okay, just uncheck and enable mocking service again. Okay. Okay. Now remove this country and test it. It is saying required parameter country is missing. All right. So you have to pass country now. Country equal to India. Now you send, it will give success. Next, in place of post, if you give get, what will happen? It will say method not found. Okay. Send back because this is a post method. Now in body, we have defined something called what is the type of response? Application JSON. Okay. Here you are clicking as JSON here because this is automatic, but actually we call this parameter as content type. Okay. You can see it in the header part. Okay. We will be passing that part in content type, which is here. You can see, right? Content type is application JSON. What if you are giving text start plain? Oh, sorry. Or else I can change here. Instead of JSON, I will say text. Okay. If you go here in headers, you can say it will show text plain. Okay. Now you send it. You are getting the 400 bad name. It is saying that your text plain is not one of the accepted MIME types for your request body. Okay. This way also they will ask in the examination and all. So try to concentrate on this point. Okay. Your content type, if it is, because here you are saying that your content type is application JSON, but you are passing as text plain. Then what you should do? Then you should say like you need to pass application JSON. Okay. As the in headers. Okay. In headers, you need to pass content type. We call that word as content type as application JSON. When you hit it, it will give success response. Again, username, if you give less than 5 characters, sorry, it is 5. If you give less than 5 characters, it will clearly show that your username is expecting 5 characters, but actual is 4 characters only. Okay. Again, now you should be getting a question again. I'll give 1, 2, 3 over here and this one. What it will say? It will still say that username is 5 and password is 6. It will give both errors. Okay, because this is within body. All right. So enter this password. Try to enter more than 10. It will say actual expecting is 10, but it's like 21. Okay. Hope this makes you clear how we are having multiple like that. You can have like multiple resources, but see now what we can do is I'll copy paste the same thing and try to add one more thing, all same things. Sorry. Okay, it is giving error. Why? Because I told in slides that no two resource can have same name and method. Okay, because already we are having search plus get, but if you change to post, it will accept. Still it won't accept. Why? Means you cannot define, this is not the correct way to provide the details. So what for, if you want to have a post name with same method, then what you have to do is go back here in the get place. Okay, see the indentation. Okay, now you paste it here, it will work. Now you can see in the summary, you can see in search, under search, we have both get and post. That is a valid one. Okay, get and post, but you cannot write like previous one, right? Search again post, that is not correct way to write, but this is how you can have both get and post. All right, now previously search, right? Search, send it. It is saying wrong because error to find method post, because I have to update my mocking service URL again. Okay. Copy this, just paste this. Okay, send it. It is saying required parameter keyword is missing because for search parameter we are using keyword. Okay, now you are getting result return successful for post method also. This is how you can create, you know, multiple resources. But guys, do you think it is like looking like more awkward, or it is like too clumsy, right? Whenever we see this, it's like too clumsy. So in that case, if you want to use like, you can place all these details like schema and examples in separate files, and you can include them in this YAML. Okay, these are very important. Okay, I'll just remove this post method for now. Okay, all right. Okay, I will remove this, and what I'll do is all these things, schemas, for example, there is a body here, right? Properties, all these I will keep in separate files and I will use them in this main YAML. For that, first things what you need to do is, first I will go step by step. Okay, let me keep this example in a separate file. Okay, for that, what I will do, in the left side you can see there is a option called new file. Okay, what I'll do is I'll click on new file or new folder first, or else we can also create new folder where we can keep all examples in one place. Okay, all examples in one place. Okay, I have created a folder called examples. Now you can add the file in this plus symbol. Okay, if you click on here, the plus, not this place will create a root file in this root folder. But if you want to create a new file in examples folder, click on plus new file. Okay, now here it is giving three things. I don't want to create a new specification, I want examples. Okay, for that you will have an option to select example. Okay, it is still YAML 1.0, but the type is example, which I want to give. Okay, give some name. So what is that example? Search example, because we are using for search method. Search dot YAML, you have to give it, create one. Once you are creating this example YAML, you can see something added to this YAML heading, that is named example. Okay, named example means it is like sample like example. What you can do is go to your main YAML. This session2.yaml is your main YAML. What you can do is copy this whole thing, remove that or cut it, go here and paste it. Okay, clear? So that's how, what you're doing is you're keeping that part, okay, in separate file, and you are going to your main YAML. You can simply saying here how to, now this is another question in quiz or interviews and everywhere. Okay, how to include this file within the main file. For that you have a syntax called hash include. Okay, even if you don't know the syntax, just keep hash in. There is auto pop-up showing over here, hash include. Where is my search example.yaml? Within examples. Okay, so examples and then search example. So I am not writing anything. Okay, I'm just typing few letters, automatically it is showing. So this is how you need to include files from different folders. This is the syntax. What is the syntax? Hash include examples is the folder. If you are not creating a folder, this is also not, this example / is not required. You can directly say hash include search example.yaml. But as we are placing these files in examples folder, we are using this hash include folder name followed by search.raml. Now, similarly, suppose you want to use the same example here also. Okay, same search example also you want to use here. I'll remove this part. This is also example, right? I'll remove this part. Okay, I can use the same thing, hash include, okay, examples. I want to use the same thing. Instead of having Indian breaking news, I will say, so here also, then you can see what will happen here. When you click on post, you can see your example is something. Why search example is added over here? Because your example file, you have added something like this. If you don't want to have this search example, just remove it. Okay. Now, if you go back to RAML, if you click on post, you can see result returned successful as well. This is for post method, right? Even for search get method also, you can see the same example is written because we are using the same example twice over here. Clear? So this is how, if you want, so instead of having all things in one file, right, you can keep it in a separate file, make use of them so that your code will get shortened. Now, next thing which is looking more awkward is here, properties, this one, this part. Okay, this is nothing but schema, guys. Whatever we are writing here, right, in body, this is called schema. What is meant by schema? Again, for beginners, okay, students, schema means you are saying some valid, you are setting some validations, like, you know, okay, username, whenever you are passing, it should have 5 letters or 10 letters, something that is called schema. If you want to create a schema file separately, same process. Again, create a separate folder for schemas, best practice. Okay, then now create new file. Previously we have created example file, but this is schema file. So if you go down for schema, you will call it as data type here. Okay, click on data type, and then you'll see news data type, because we are using for news resource, right? News data, give some name. It is not mandatory to have the same name, but it is always to have some good conventions, good naming conventions. So whenever I see news data type, then I will understand, okay, this data type is used for news method. Click on create. Okay, previously for examples you saw like named example. For data type, it will come as data type. Okay, click enter. Okay, here you can see automatically type and all, right? We have already written those details. Okay, what you can do is you can just copy these details from properties, cut it, paste it. Okay, now once you are pasting here, you can see here clearly, okay, it is saying type, username, string required, minimum, all this summary is given here. Okay, now if you go back here, you can see, if you click on post method, you are not seeing any body, though you are having here, it is not showing here. Why? Because we have removed that from the code. Then what you have to do, you can see type, you can say type. Okay, what is the type? Hash include, I want, sorry, type colon hash include, because I want to include that file, then only it will reflect over here. What is the folder name? Schemas. Okay, what is the name of that file? News data type.raml. Once I have written here, now if you click on post, you can see your body is appearing over here, right? Username and password. So this is how you have to use, you know, when you are defining. Now see how simpler it is, like, you know, it is very simple, right? Now my raml file, main raml file is looking shorter. Even now, for example, if you want to remove this keyword, right, you can place it in separate file. Okay, this is how you should be including the files, example or anything, but you have to, whether when it is example, you have to say example colon hash include type. This is type, not type colon. Again, there is another feature also. RAML is huge. Okay, you can learn many things, but these are the basic things which you need to know when you are designing APIs in real time also. When I'm explaining these things in real time also, you'll be writing like this. Suppose you are having another, you know, what do you say, another resource. Okay, sports news. Okay, I'll say let it be let it be. So here you can see, you may not be seeing suggestions, but you can see an up arrow mark here. Okay, even you will face this issue. It's not an issue, but as we are going down, we don't have a space to show that. Okay, there is an up arrow button here. Just click on that. It will show you the automatic suggestions. Okay, I can use some, for example, I have used put. Let us use put. Okay, you don't need these many indentations. Okay, then you can say request I want to send as only body. Okay, here also I want to use the same application JSON. So after body you cannot directly keep type, you have to first define what is that. Okay, application JSON. Okay, then if you want to use again type, right, again if you want to include the same file, hash include schemas, sorry, schemas, and you can see automatic suggestions here. Okay, now you can see if you go to summary, right, there is a put method in yellow color. It is also expecting. So these are automatically. So am I doing anything specific? This is not even called as a code. Okay, this is kind of language. Okay, very simple to understand. That's the reason I am taking more time for you to understand how to fetch the values from, different files or to keep in the same files. Okay, now there will be some questions like they will give you RAML. Okay, they will give you RAML and they'll show you example like this. What is the output of this thing? Then you have to answer like your output is this one, JSON. Okay, next you can also do, instead of having, okay, instead of writing this one also two times, right? Which one? Hash includes schemas. There are two times which we are using. To reduce that redundancy, what you can do is, before search, starting, before the method names, okay, after the title, what you can do is, you can say something like types, okay, and then hash include schemas and news data type. First define that one. Okay, sorry. Let me keep type. 1 second. Invalid type, hash include for types, no. Okay. Let me check once. Sorry. Give me a second. So this is the final part which I wanted to show. After that, I'll take the questions. Okay. I have already set up this one. Okay. So, well, this is okay. Sorry, my bro. So sometimes you will have, these kind of errors. Okay. Whenever you are defining types, you have to give some name. Okay. To that particular hash include your settings. You need to set some name for this. Okay. Suppose I'll say SFDC Panther. Just to, okay, SFDC Panther, I'll say. So instead of writing this whole word, what I'm doing is I'm giving types. I'm setting this whole word into one SFDC Panther, so that if you go down here, right, schemas, instead of having all these multiple times, I can just paste SFDC Panther. Okay. Next here also, instead of that, I can keep SFDC Panther. So just minimizing things. Okay. Still, if you go here, you will see the same username, password, all those things. Okay. This is one of the interview questions, as well as, you may get in the certification exam as well, how to include the types. So to define some types, first you need to, this is types. Okay. You need to include types, colon, give some name. It can be SFDC Panther, Shravan, or your name, any name. Suppose if I give Shravan and say colon hash include, that means you are including that particular RAML, and paste the same thing here. Okay. You need to define as type Shravan. Okay, type Shravan. Okay, now you must be wondering, so how to pass as an array? Suppose if you have multiple, so this is called one single object. This is called single object. What if you want if you want to pass multiple username and password requests? That means array, right? So array will be something like this. Array of objects will be something like this. We'll come into more details. Okay, what is array of objects when we check data? If you want to pass two, how to change that? So already we are having one single object. To make it array, just simple thing. Suppose for sports news you want it to pass as array. Okay, what you can do is you can just keep square brackets. Now if you observe sports here, it is something like this one. Got it? Now square brackets are appended. Now you can add as many as possible. Okay, so what have we learned so far? Okay, we have seen that designing Ramel using Design Center, we have created single resource and multiple resource. Single resource first, we started with search, then we added news and sports news. Okay, next, defining the type of method request response. For every resource, we are defining the type of method, the request. Okay, request can be one or multiple like query parameters or body, and response with status codes. Okay, next, how to use the mock URL I have shown you, and how to include the files and how to use types. Okay, all this we have seen. Now next thing what we have not seen is how to publish to Exchange. Very simple. I'll tell you what is Exchange later point of time, but you can see an option called here top right, publish. Okay, it is asking to publish to Exchange. I'll click on publish to Exchange. Exchange is the place like, you know, repositories where you can find everything. Okay, give some asset version, like give some this thing. Okay, v1 API version and asset version, and click on publish to Exchange. So why we are having these versions and all is, in future suppose your requirement has changed. For example, you are saying Shravan, you are saying six passwords, six letters is mandatory, but why don't we make it 5 letters? Then what you will do, you will go back to the schemas, make the changes from 6 to 5, and then again publish to Exchange, right? So then you will publish that the latest version to Exchange. So Exchange, I'll click on Exchange. Already we have clicked publish to Exchange. You can see once it is published, it is so Exchange is a place where you can find as an asset. Okay, all assets, connectors, it is a place to explore. Okay, you can see there is a REST API. This is called REST API. Click on that. So this is how, what you will do generally is, once you create this API specification, you'll give to your team lead or architect this URL, Exchange URL. So, or QA team. So what happens is, you need not tell to anyone, you know, you need to pass this parameter, you need to pass, it is not your duty. Simply send this URL, they will go and check the summary. They will check, okay, your API is having three resources. One is search, one is news, one is sports news. Okay. Okay. What is search accepting? Okay. It requires query parameters. Okay. Because it is saying required, and it requires at least 3. So everything is in a normal English. So you need not explain to others. Okay. What is the type of request? Once you have created, your point is done. In creation of building also, right? Will you go and explain again to the architect or someone? No, right? You can see here. So you won't go and again explain. They know by looking at this. Okay, your hall is having 3.5 feet. Okay, your veranda is 6.65 feet, something like that. Okay, so here everything is specific, so that they'll have some test. You can test it here. Okay, even when you're submitting me the assignments, I'll send the assignments. Okay, when you're submitting, please provide your Exchange URL here. Okay, this is the URL which you need. Just go back to assets. There will be something which you have created like this. Okay, copy this and try to submit your asset. Keep this Ramel name as your name followed by session2, so that it will be easier for me to track. Okay, and send me. I'll tell you what you have done. You don't need to send me any request or not. Okay, I can check it from my side. Clear? So that's all for today. So I to learn more, right, to learn more, so we have many features, but these are very good features. If you know these things, it is enough. Okay, but still you have like fragments, types and all. If you want to learn, we have ramal.org. I told this is different from MuleSoft code. Okay, ramal.org, you have 0.8 and 1.0. Go to 1.0 and learn. Okay, it is just one single page. It is there in GitHub. You can find number of examples. Any doubts if you get, you can learn from here. Okay, next, submit your assessments without fail. As I said, there is no shortcut. Practice, practice, practice. In case if you want to revise this session, right, my assignments will be on the same pattern. Okay, just I will change the resource names and all, but I request you to first create Anypoint platform account, then start coding. If you have any doubts, you can subscribe to MuleSoft TechZone and SFDC Panther. In SFDC Panther page also you can find the recording. You can code. But guys, please do submit the assignments. I will be more happy because you are learning something out of it. Okay, that is all about session 2 for today. Session 3, we will start off developing the APIs from the designing APIs which we have done in session 2. Okay, I'm stopping my sharing, and Amit, please allow users to speak.